Today we're working on this Nissan Rogue. It's a 2019 model, and we're going to be replacing both the lows and high beams and turn signals. The headlights, we're going to be using H11s for the lows and highs, and we're going to be using our T-Series 7440s in the turn signals, all right? So it's very simple to do. It takes a little bit of time, but you can do it, no issues. So let's show you how that works and do the whole thing in one shot. So the first thing we're going to be doing is to actually access the bulbs. What you're going to want to need is going to be a 10mm socket, extension, and a ratchet. And then also a trim piece remover or anything flat, like a flathead, to help you remove the little plastic clips that hold some of the parts down. And we're going to start with the driver's side because I think this is a little bit more trickier one. So what you're going to do first, we already loosened a lot of the parts to make this fast, but pretty much it's going to be two plastic clips right here. Hopefully you can see that. They're pretty much just your trim remover, or use a flathead just to pop these out just like that. These are already loose. And then there's going to be a 10mm over here, okay? So same thing, we already loosened it. So you're going to take that off. Careful not to drop it. And I'm going to put those to the side. And then all you're going to do now is just pull the intake out, okay? So you just need to remove this piece. Don't remove anything else. You're going to put this over here for now, just like that. And that will give you access to your low beam, high beam, and your turn signal. So the first one we're going to do is the low beam, which is already loose over here. So let's take that off real quick. Make sure you unplug it too, makes life much easier. Okay, just remove it, simple as that. We'll put those to the side, and we're going to get our new bulbs and replace those. So while I'm here, I'm going to take off the high beam as well, which hopefully you can see it's the one down here. Same thing, you want to just unclip it, push it down. And the clips are actually different for both of them. This one is a push clip, so you actually got to push the bottom tab inwards to release it. The other one, if you can get the camera over here real quick just to show them. This one was a little bit more easier because the actual tab is sticking out. So hopefully I can like show that for you right here. So all I did was just pretty much pull this little tongue right here. I just pulled it outwards and that will release the bulb. All right, with the bulb disconnected, just remove the actual bulb. And put it to the side. And while we're at here, we're also gonna go for the turn signal, which is this gray tab right here. If you see this right here, it looks like a fin. So just counterclockwise to remove. And this is gonna be using a 7440, okay? So I'm gonna remove this real quick and get our bolts prepared and then show you how to install them. All right, so with the microfiber cloths or some gloves, remove the original bulb because they're still good. All we're gonna do is just replace the actual LED in there. So you're gonna get your new bulb, line it up. And these are polarity sensitive, so you wanna make sure you have someone help you out or just run to your inside of the vehicle and light them up just to test. Make sure they turn on. In case it didn't light up, simply disconnect the bulb, flip it around and reconnect it, and that should fix your issue. And now all you're gonna do is just continue to finish installation. You're gonna make sure you line it up. And just like that, it's installed. It has a specific way it has to line up so it can go inside, so don't force it. It has to go in very smooth and just twist a little bit and you'll feel it lock. So we're done with the turn signal there, and now we're gonna move into the high beam. So we got our LA Plus H11s, and we're gonna line this up real quick as well. Simple as that. And we sometimes get the question asked that why do we use an H11 for all the sockets of 8, 9, 16? And the reason why is that our bulbs adapter was made to fit all of those. So the tabs are a bit thinner in specific areas to allow it to enter any of those sockets. So even if it says H8 or H9 or H16, as long as you get our H11s, it should fit it. So we're gonna test that, make sure it's connected correctly. And this is our high beam. We're gonna continue now onto the low beam. All right, so now we're gonna go into the low beam so we can finish this up. Same procedure, line them up, lock it in place. Make sure you connect your connectors. Okay, it's connected, we'll test. There you have it. In case that didn't light up, again, just simply disconnect it, flip the connector over, reconnect again, and it should light up. So that's the low beam. Let me activate the high beam. And that's all there is to it. So let me activate those turn signals as well so you can see how that looks. So guys, this side is more simpler. All you gotta do is remove the screw that holds down your radiator reservoir. So just remove this 10 millimeter. I already loosened it up, so I'm gonna take this by hand. The only screw, this small screw that holds the whole canister, and you just move it to the side, and that will give you enough access to reach all the bulbs you need to get to. So your low beam, your high beam, and everything. And also a quick tip, careful in removing these, because these little triangular locking clips, they're very sharp, so it's easy to cut yourself on them. So make sure you don't cut yourself. I'm gonna put that there and start installing our bulbs, just like the other side as well. Just 2, and then go for your turn signal. And same procedure, we will test, make sure it actually lights up. Okay, so as you can see right now, the low beams are active, but this one didn't light up. So what you're gonna do is just simply disconnect the cable and reconnect it again. Okay, and there you have it. So it's on, high beam. There you go, so I got on the first shot, and then we can do the turn signals. All right, so this one didn't light up. So all we're gonna do is disconnect it, reconnect, try again, and there we have it. There you can just put it back into its socket. There we go, it's locked. And make sure you put everything back now. Make sure you align your canister for your reservoir back in place. Put your bolts back in. Make sure you also bolt back your intake and put all the clips back in place as well. And you're good to go. So guys, that's the whole installation. Very simple, just takes a little bit of time, but it can be done, no problem. So if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you for watching. We are now moving on to the tail lights. We're going to be replacing the brake lights and turn signals. So to remove this off, you're going to take off two 10 millimeters, which are already loosened up for us, so we can get this off real quick. And once you remove these, all you got to do is push straight out. Don't bend it towards you, don't bend it inwards. Just try to push as straight as possible to the back, and it should just pop out. Okay, it might not be as easy as this one because we already taken it apart. It might take a little bit of force to get it off. It's your first time removing it, but take your time, and remember, just make sure you pull it out straight. Don't try to bend it inwards, don't bend it out because you'll break it. So there's going to be a total of 1, 2, and 3 guides. You got to make sure you pop out. So and they come out straight out. So if you try to bend them inwards or outwards, you're going to snap one of them, and you don't want that. All right, so we're going to be working with this. We're going to be replacing your turn signal at the bottom, and your brake light at top, okay? So just pop that out. And it's gonna be a 7443. And then the bottom is gonna be a 7440, all right? So it's gonna be a single filament for your turn signal and a dual for your brake, because that's gonna act as a parking light as well. And we're gonna be using our new T-Series bulbs are in red. Since this whole housing is already tinted red, we're gonna be using red bulbs because it's gonna penetrate better than the standard whites. Okay, so we're gonna get this. Remove the brake light first. These are polarity sensitive, so make sure you test them out before assembling because you don't want to put everything together and then find out it doesn't light up. So we're going to disconnect the other one. And the turn signal again is a 7440, it's a single filament, and your brake light's a dual filament, so that's a 7443. We're going to pop them in real quick. Don't lock them, just put them in there just so you can connect this. And now we're gonna get this tested, all right? I'm gonna put that right here. All right, so I got on the first shot, so that's your brake light right there. If you compare it to your stock, which is on the other side, it is gonna be much brighter than that. And while we're here, we're going to test our turn signal, see if you got it playing correctly. And there you have it, guys. So in case that didn't light up, all you got to do is disconnect it, flip the bulb over, or the connector over, and reconnect it in, and you should be good to go. So let's do that same procedure on the other side, and we'll show you how everything's in the end. Alright guys, so today we're going to be working on the back of this 2019 Nissan Rogue, and we're going to be replacing the inner tail lights. It's going to be the reverse light and your inner tail light parking light, and these are going to be using a T15 for the reverse and a T10 for the inner tail light, okay? So it's very simple. Let's get this started. The first thing you want to do is make sure you remove this panel right here. It's held on by pressed-in clips. And you're gonna have two right here, which already been removed. I recommend using a trim piece remover like this one. This is what your clips are gonna look like. There'll be two of them, right? Just remove these, put them to the side, and then next you're gonna be using a Phillips head to remove a screw that goes right here. Hopefully you can see that. Once you remove that, the little cubby right here will come out. So let's remove. Just like that, it'll come out. The screw will go pretty much inside here, which is going to be this one. You're going to remove that, and the whole thing comes out. And at that point, what you're going to be doing is removing this by pulling it down slowly, all right? Because you don't want this to break. All right, so I like to start from the edges because that's where there's more support. So you want to grab from here and pull like that, all right? So we've already taken this apart before, so it's going to be a little more easier right now. So if it's your first time removing this, it might take a little bit of pressure to get this off. So make sure to just take your time with it. And once you start getting these areas loosened up, careful because they're actually gripped up to here on the corners. So once you remove this, I'll show you what I mean. What you want to do when pulling these ones is you kind of want to push it upwards and out, okay? So let's see, pull this. And it comes down like that. So again, I said this came off really easy because we've taken it off before. But for you guys, there's gonna be multiple clips. All these little white clips is what's holding this together. So there are a lot, so there's a lot of support on this. So it's very tricky to get this off. It's gonna take some force to get it off. Just take your time, don't break anything. Luckily, they're pretty soft plastic, so they might slip through if you pull hard enough. So if that happens, don't worry. As long as they don't break, they're still good. You just pop them out once you're done. and you can reuse them. If they do break, you can buy these. They sell them in little packs, so you can just replace them as well. So don't worry about that. As long as the actual clips here on the actual panel don't break, you're good to go. So once you pull this off, you get access to your bulbs, which will be right here. The one closest to the center is gonna be your reverse, and the one closest to the outer side is gonna be your tail light, the inner tail light, okay? So we're gonna start with the one closest to the outer side, which is your inner tail light. Which is counterclockwise to remove that. It's a T10, just pull that off. And you get your new T10. We do have these in red, but we're gonna be using a white one today. Okay, and just like that, it'll go in, reinstall, and you're done with that one. T10s normally are not polarity sensitive, so you can put them in any way, they'll light up. And then the next ones will be your T15, same thing, just take it off, get your new T15. This one's gonna be white because it is a reverse light, you cannot put a red one in there. So, but we do have them in red. Make sure they're all the way in. And these are also non-polarity, so as long as you get it in, you're good to go. And just like that, you complete the installation on one side. It's pretty much the same procedure on the other side. Just like that, you're done. At this point, you can put everything back on again, put your panel back in place, put all your screws and everything back in place, and you're good to go. So guys, if you have any questions or concerns, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you for watching. We are now going to be working on the license plate lights on this 2019 Rogue, and it's going to be a very easy process. First of all, you want to open this to make it easy on yourself. And then if you can get a flathead screwdriver, it'll help you a lot to pop these to the side and then slide it out. So let me get that for you real quick and show you how that works. All right, with your flathead, you want to start from the outer side. So the one pointing out, and just pry it inwards and then out. But this one, we already loosened it, so we're just gonna pull it out like that. But pretty much what you're doing is the cable side is gonna be coming from the outer side. So if this was installed correctly, which I'm gonna do right now just so you guys can see how that works. Put that in here, lock it in place. And like I was saying, start from the back. Okay, and then at that point, just light it up, just like that, simple as that. So now all you gotta do is remove your bolt, which is gonna be that right there. So you just put your little housing to the side, pull the bulb off. It's a T10. So we're gonna replace that with the T10s. And we have these in different colors, so you can choose whatever you like. And we're gonna be using white in here. So just like that. And then next one, same thing. This one's already been pulled off. So I pull that off easily, take that off. Install them, and then what we're gonna do is test them. So I'm gonna light them up. And there we go, you know it's working fine. You can reassemble everything. As you saw, very simple. Just put back your bulbs in place and lock them in place. Just like that. And when putting this back in place, make sure you put the back first and then the rest of the housing. So start with the rear and done. So guys, if you have any questions, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you out. And thank you for watching. So we're now inside the actual cabin. So we're gonna be working on the dome light. And to replace this is very simple. You actually pull out the whole assembly. It'll make your life much easier. If you can pull it off from here, then that's awesome, more power to you. But other than that, I would put this off, and with the flathead screwdriver, a trim remover, whatever, start in the edges, and then you just start prying it out, and it'll come out just like that, okay? And then just disconnect this, because you never want to work with this stuff with power still connected. Bad things happen to good people when you play with this. So we just remove it like that. And at this point, you're free to play, because like that you don't have any power. You won't risk moving this while you're trying to pry this up and shorting out something. So what you're gonna do is you want to start at these two edges right here, closest to the actual switch, okay? There's gonna be an actual opening right here, and just slowly work your way in there, just like that. You see where it's in? There's an actual like cutout. Instead of going all the way down, it goes halfway, and that's where you want to reach for. Then do the same thing the other side. Just take your time, just like that. So then it just comes off. And at this point, that's a 28 millimeter. So you just push down, and that will release the bolt. And that's it. All right, guys. So we got our 28 millimeter. Just a reference, just so you guys can see how it looks. Pretty much same size. I'm gonna put that here. Get your housing. You're gonna pull this back, and one way I like to do it is that I hold it from the middle like that. Instead of trying to push it in this way, I hold it like this. It gives me more grip. And just slide it in there, and then there you have it. Okay. Make sure it lines up correctly. You want to make sure they're in the ends. There's an actual opening, like a little hole on that one in there. I don't know if you can see it, but that little plate there's a hole in there. Line it in there, and then just push it in. And same thing, there's another hole on the other plate. So I just want to push that in there, make sure it's in there correctly, and it'll be flush. You'll feel it's gonna be flush with it, so you know you got it right. So at this point, you can test it, make sure it actually lights up. You don't have to put the connector all the way in. As long as it makes contact, it'll light it up. Okay, so once you see that, you're good to go. Make sure those chips are facing down, because we've had them brought in with the chips facing upwards or sideways. They don't get a lot of light. So make sure those chips are facing down towards the actual floor, so like that you get actual light. So at this point, we can just reassemble it. Make sure you start with the bottom first. So you want to make sure you go into that groove, and then just clip in, just like that. Okay. And you're done. And this will work with your original function. So for right now, we have an auto. So when you open the door, it'll turn on. When you close the door, after a while, it'll dim out. So guys, if you have any questions, concerns, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you for watching.